the speakers on time before the motion to save on time. Thank you so much. You have 30 seconds, then we begin.
Honorable members of this House, good morning. So, I walked into this House with a lot of peace. I might not be the Messiah, but I have the knowledge that you desire to acquire. So, I stand before this honorable House to propose the motion of today that states this House believes that there can never be peace without equality. What is peace? Peace is a state of harmonious existence among people, free from violence, discrimination, fear, and injustice. What is equality? Equality is a state in which everyone has the same rights, opportunities, and fair treatment regardless of their gender, ethnicity, religion, tribe, race, age, disability, or social status. So, there are 4 types of peace. There are 4 types of peace. We have social peace, which is peace that exists between members of a community or a society. We have personal peace, which is peace that exists within an individual. It enhances inner calmness and emotional well-being. We have international peace, which is peace that exists between countries. It promotes cooperation and friendship. Then we have national peace, which is peace that exists within a country. It promotes unity and stability within a country. So, to my first point, equality strengthens national peace. As a nation can only prosper if its citizens believe that they belong. So, when people are treated equally in a society or in a country, it creates a state of equality and peace, in that it will enhance cooperation regardless of religion, gender, race, or the social status. And this promotes national development instead of competing against their differences, which leads to violence and resentment, which threatens peace. For instance, in our country, Kenya, we have symbols of national unity, like the national anthem. So allow me to paraphrase some words from the first stanza, which says that natukae na undugu, amani na uhuru. So undugu brings up the sense of equality, in that we are able to regard each other as brothers, promoting peace that is free from factors that undermine unity, such as discrimination and violence. To my second point, equality ensures that there is fair distribution of resources, in that each and every member or the citizens of a country are able to get access to resources like education and medication from various public facilities, which enhance equality and peace, because each and every member is able to benefit from them. So thirdly, equality prevents marginalization, in that it ensures that no group is left out. So it ensures that no no group is left out. This enhances peace in that everyone feels that he is valued and cherished, creating a sense of cooperation, and it enhances peaceful coexistence. For instance, in our country, Kenya, we have the National Assembly and we have the Senate, which has a member in each of the houses who represents the people with disability. So this enhances peace in that the people with disability feel that they are well represented in the courts of law. So my third point, equality strengthens social cohesion. Equality enhances social cohesion in that people are willing to cooperate, with one another, creating a sense of peace, free from violence, discrimination, and resentment. Equality encourages peace and unity regardless of gender, race, and tribe. Just like our Honorable Mr. President once said, "Hi cousins," it was a way of creating equality in that he wanted to make the members or the citizens of the country feel like they are valued, they are not lesser beings, because the word cousin shows that there is a blood tie, it shows that there is a union. So equality enhances political stability. When every citizen has equal rights and political representation, they trust government institutions. For instance, in Kenya we have the secret ballot, which gives every citizen a chance to vote, and they are able to bring up leaders who are able to represent them well in the government, promoting political stability. Moreover, equality enhances economic growth in that it creates a state in which everyone has equal access to job opportunities. So this enhances economic growth in that everyone is able to work to meet their needs and also to take part in national development rather than competing in their differences. Equality also promotes human dignity. Does everyone deserve to be valued and respected?
Yes.
So, equality creates a sense of human dignity in that you're able to be valued and respected, and this encourages tolerance and understanding among the citizens. Thank you.
Esteemed judges, my fellow debaters, ladies and gentlemen, I stand here to firmly oppose this motion that states that this House believes that there can never be peace without equality. What is peace? Peace refers to the absence of violence, conflicts, and unrest, while equality refers to everyone having the same rights, opportunities, or having the same status. A society can experience peace even when inequalities exist. Therefore, equality is not the sole condition for peace. The proposition has presented an their view, we our able judges, we accept their logic, then we condemn humanity to perpetual warfare. We now be assuming that all the institutions, because let's say, for example, in institutions we have hierarchies. If we say that then we must be equal, then I think we'll be convincing everybody, but there is absolute war in almost all institutions because we are never equal. Even the house right now, not all of us are equal. So today, I will prove that peace can and must exist without equalities, or they can exist alongside inequalities. Let us look at Standard Development Goal number 16. It states that peace, justice, and strong institutions. The UN does not state that institutions must be perfectly equal to be peaceful. Rather, it states that they must be strong, stable, and just. Peace is maintained through the rule of law, predictable governance, and societal contracts. History proves that societies can enjoy decades of profound peace, safety, and civic harmony while maintaining hierarchies, specialized labor, and varied socio-economic strata. Look at developing frameworks, for example. The globe peace is achieved when laws are enforced, not when outcomes are distributed equally. So by prioritizing absolute equality over stability, you disrupt the institutional order for peace. Order brings peace, which then grants us the foundation to address inequalities. My second argument. This motion directly contradicts the realistic goal of education and the standard goal of development number 4, the Sustainable Development Goal 4. The global goal of education is to provide equitable opportunities and to enforce in any peaceful functioning educational system. There is an inherent inequality of roles. Let's take teachers, for example. Teachers have authority over students, and individuals achieve different outcomes based on merit, effort, and choice. But if we convince people that they must be equal first, then everybody will grow lazy. Everybody will be depending on the outcomes of a peaceful coexistence. We can live at peace even if we have inequalities amongst us. Then, my able judges, I want to convince my opponents. They say that inequalities cause crimes, violence, and arguments. I differ with you. You are confusing inequality with absolute poverty. No one cannot resent to crime when we have the distribution, but one turns to crime because they are hungry. So let us first achieve the basic things, When we achieve the basic things, the basic human rights, and ensure that the rule of law, which ensures peace, covers everybody, despite their societal hierarchies, then we'll have peace. History of full, peaceful, highly stable example. Remember, our president compares us to Singapore. So let us take the same Singapore as an example. They conversing, forcing absolute equality through radical distribution has historically led to totalitarian regimes and mass violence, as seen in the 20th century communist states. So peace requires the rule of law, not our bank accounts. Our able judges, I would like to add that peace and inequality are totally two different concepts. So when arguing, let's consider peace a result or peace as the major foundation to fighting inequalities amongst our societies. I beg to oppose.
Honorable judges, esteemed opponents, valued audience, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I'd like to propose the motion that states that there can never be peace without equality. First, to our opponents and to our opposers, who has just concluded his speech. I want to remind you that we are in the 21st century, not in the 20th, as you stipulated earlier. Then, under the Sustainable Development Goal number 16, its aim is to promote peaceful and inclusive society that provides access to justice for all and build effective, accountable, and inclusiveness. What are the key targets of the Sustainable Development Goal number 16? The key targets are to promote equitable opportunity. So it simply means without peace, there is no equality. Then also, I would like to propose the motion with the following arguments. The first one, inequality is the root cause to conflict. What do I mean by this? When we have a nation that maybe is having inequalities among its citizens, this brings about conflicts in the nations. For instance, when I look at the Rwandan genocide of the 1994, it was fueled by a long-standing ethnic inequality and discriminations between the Hutu and the Tutsi populations in that country. So this simply means without equality, there is no peace. Also, a scholar by the name Johann Galton, who is the founder of Peace Studies, argued that structural violence is a major cause of conflict. Peace is impossible where injustices exist. Also, when we look at the apartheid that was in South Africa between 1948 to 1994, it led to violence, protests, and international isolations. What are these simply mean? Where there is no equality, there is no peace. And they go hand in hand. To our second argument, equality promotes justice and justice sustains peace. Equality means that everyone is treated fairly before the law and has equal opportunities towards the law and everything in the country. So, I'll give out an example. After the apartheid ended in South Africa, equal rights, equal political rights help South Africa transition towards a more peaceful society. Also, a scholar known as John Rawls, in his book known as A Theory of Justice, clearly argued that a just society is one where everyone enjoys equal basic rights and fair opportunities. Up to that point, you must be knowing that peace and equality go hand in hand. Also, I'd like to our third argument, equal society experiences less violence and crime. When you look at there are some countries where there's peace, all the citizens or its citizens are enjoying less violence and crimes. And we can look at maybe one example from the Constitution. When you look at Article 10 and 27 of the Constitution of Kenya, they show that when we have lasting peace depends on equal treatment and justice for all citizens. Therefore, we as citizens should abide and know that peace is equal to equality, or rather, equality goes hand in hand with peace. Also, equality, international peace depends on equality between nations. When you want to have, maybe let me use an organization such as the United Nations. The United Nations thought that we should have peace in our country, Kenya. So they decided that they should form an agency in Kenya known as the MS4P that was to bring peace in our country and to oversee our elections. And using that body, we see that our country sometimes is experiencing some peace during elections. Up to that point, I beg to rest my case.
To our able judges, my fellow debaters, good morning. I stand here to oppose the motion that says that this House believes that there can never be peace without equality. Now, I will start from where my colleagues talk or give this point that says that inequality is a root cause of conflict. Now, I have an example. Listen carefully. Then you show me if there is peace or there is no peace. Example, I and my friend were traveling somewhere. She uses a bus and I use a motorcycle. Then we reach that point. The same time, she uses her means, I use my own means, which is a motorcycle. Then we observe the time. Will that means that there will be no peace? She used a bus and I used a motorcycle. Will there be peace or will there be no peace? There will be peace. There will be peace. So it means that it doesn't matter the way you are going to use that. Like for example, I use this means and you use other means. It doesn't bring confusion here that we will not have peace. It depends on how we are going to reach there. Now, I want to oppose the motion by first point that says that peace is the absence of violence. For example, here we are discussing, we are in peace, there is no violence. And equality means that you ensure every individual has the same right. Every individual has the same right. We know the rights of every individual. Right to live, right to do what? To education. Now, concerning right to live, we are not given that you have each and everyone has the right to live the rich life, but you have the right to live. You have the right to live. It doesn't matter that when I'm rich, you are not rich. That can cause conflict, but there will be peace because you have the right to live. I have the right to live. Another one. Another example, history shows that prolonged periods of peace are often achieved through strong central governance and clear social hierarchies rather than equality. If history shows that when we have social hierarchy, for example, that right to live, it doesn't matter that when I'm rich, I don't have peace, or when I'm rich and you are poor, there is no peace. There is peace, but when we follow that hierarchy of social status, there will be peace. Another point, peace is enhanced with cultural and religious tolerance in the society, whereby it helps to maintain peace regardless of social or economic differences. For example, in a church, we will not be told that, or the preacher will not say that, be rich so that you may live in peace. But the preacher will be saying that, let us stay in peace regardless of our social status. That brings peace. Another point is that equality is difficult to achieve because people are naturally different in talents, efforts, and resources. But peace in unrealistic or maintained. We see that equality is difficult. When I want to be rich, it needs me to do more efforts so that I will reach there. But peace, when you call your colleague, let you sit down, you discuss about something, you find that you are bringing peace. But when I say I want to be rich, you also want to be rich, how can peace be there?
Point of information. What you're trying to describe is not actually a genuine peace, but rather silence and injustice.
I know you say that, but peace depends on many factors, including good governance, justice, dialogue, respect for human rights, but not equality alone. You see? It doesn't mean that if there is equality, it will promote peace. But peace can be promoted by good governance, justice, and dialogue. Thank you for our judges for that opportunity.
To our esteemed guests and my fellow visitors, I am here to oppose the motion of the House, which says this House believes that there can never be peace without equality. The motion is very clear, and I see my colleagues, they are so confused about equality, equity, and peace. And here, we are here to understand what equality is based on your level dimensions of understanding equality. And when you have understood what equality is, then you understand peace. Then you will agree with me that even if equality is not there, then peace will always prevail. Always. For instance, for me, I like using real life situations, examples. I have my fellow colleague here. I don't know from which estate he's coming from, and the other one is there. They are never equal. And is there at peace right now? Is there at peace? Yes. But are we equal? We are not equal. Both financially, economically, politically, and every other thing that you know of. So that is just to bring to your attention that peace can exist without equality. And just to bear out my points, the pragmatic priority that says that peace is a precondition. Peace is a precondition. Take instance, in 1989, way back in 1989, when there was a civil war in Lebanese, the war was solved, but they never remained to be equal, and the peace prevailed. Until now, they are still enjoying the state of peace, despite the fact that they are not equal. And to bring to attention that peace can also be brought by reality of hierarchy. And since time memorial, from the Genesis, people and they lived in peace. They lived in peace because of hierarchy. Because of hierarchy. And that hierarchy brought about the care and they obeyed the law based on the hierarchy. And that brought about peace regardless of some of them being crippled, they could not walk. Some of them being poor, they could not access the necessary resources. But they still get to peace. And right now, you are here as a result of their peaceful state despite of their iniquity. So, I just want to bring this to the attention of the House that the way you look at me, it seems most of you are religious. You are religious. And whenever you go to worship, you are being preached to peace. And in those houses, when you go there, some of you dressed in a very well-nice suits. Some are very humble to an extent that they come barefooted. But at the end of it all, peace still prevails because of the concept of religion, not equity. Unless you have never entered any place called church, mosque, or whatever. So, I just want to convince my fellow opponents that if we were waiting for equity to happen in this world, then 21st century could be like 1st century. There could be no development. That is a surety without contradiction, facts, and fiction. And right now, that is just to tell you that peace exists even in a state of inequality.
Esteemed debaters, good morning. My question goes directly to the first speaker from the opposite side. You said that we are confusing inequality and poverty among our community. My question is, if inequality continues to grow, how can you guarantee that peace will last? After that, what kind of peace survives where discrimination and exclusion thrive? Thank you.
Thank you. Our esteemed judges and my fellow debaters, I would like to peacefully answer that question despite us being unequal. You are asking that if inequalities continue to grow, what is the status of peace? Even right now we are at peace. Are we equal? But we are at peace. So I think inequalities, I will talk about poverty. What is poverty? When I am hungry and you are satisfied to the brim, I'll automatically steal from you. That is now lack of peace. But when I have something for myself, despite you having extra, we continue to survive peacefully in our society.
First speaker, allow me repeat my question and directly answer the question. I don't need students. What kind of peace survives where discrimination and exclusion thrive? Understand English.
Thank you, brother. I don't know, but the motion says that this house believes that there can never be peace without equality. So first, for you to be disturbing me in my peaceful horizon, you need to understand the meaning of equality.
Speaking to Jesus' name, I agree to the Honorable House. I'm going to address the first speaker. There is this issue you are trying to say to us, that we are here seated at peace, and you are asking us, are we equal? I want to answer you by saying, yes, we are equal. Why are we equal? We are not having members here of Journalism Club, and members of the Wildlife Club, and members of other clubs. We are all here as members of the Amani Club, and that is why we are here seated peacefully, because we are Amani Club. We go peace.
Directed the question to our first speaker, but let me answer you. You have said we are Amani people, but we are not equal, meaning you are accepting, even if we have inequality, still peace will exist. Peace will exist in this way. Let me answer you. Be patient. I'm answering you. Even if we don't have peace, even if we are not equal, for example, the Amani Club people, even the dressing mode, we are not equal, but still peace will exist.
Thank you, Honorable House. My question to the Speaker,
we say we are equal. Why? Because we have been given same room, same opportunity. Assume you are given a chance to attend this meeting when you are outside, then you are inside. Will we be equal?
Thank you, my honorable judges. Thank you, the
Honorable judges, my worthy proposing team, and my teammate, the opposing team. Allow me answer you how the difference between the Amani Club members exists. Within the Amani Club, we have people from Nyanza region, we have people from Western region, we have people from different constituencies, people of different genders, but with a uniform goal. We have, excuse me, I think the mic is still with me. So we are saying you are accorded the privilege to be in a school, right? But those privileges are never the same because we pay different fees, we spend different expenditure, but once you are convinced that what you get from your government, what you get from your parents is enough for you to survive. I'm talking of accepting different levels of starting point. So that is what grace is, not treating everything equal. Let me give you an example. You have a visually impaired learner and a normal learner. You want to send them to a same destination. Will you allocate them the same minutes? Question to the proposing team.
Sorry for the interruption. Kindly, questions must be directed to the speakers, either speaker 1, 2, or 3. And the speakers must attend to the questions, not the audience. Kindly. 2, remember, we are not students, neither are we trainees, nor do we have clerks. We are honorable members of the House. Take note of that. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Judge, for this opportunity. My question goes direct to the second speaker of the opposite side. You talked about the Constitution. It has rights to live. You do not give us the article. Second, now give us the article of the Constitution that supports inequality.
Now, thank you for that question, but hope I was clear when I say that the rights of Kenyans is that we have rights to live, but I did quote, when I was to quote the wrong article, then you could ask me that you quoted the wrong article, but I just said in summary that we have the right to live.
Thank you, Honorable Judges. My question goes to, I guess, the second speaker from the proposer's side. I'll start by drawing attention from the biblical concept. What caused Adam and Eve to be chased out of the Garden of Eden?
Disobedience.
Okay, correct. They disobeyed God through eating the forbidden information, please.
Honorable judges, I'd like to answer her. When you read in the book of Galatians, chapter 3, verse 28, the Bible says we are all equal.
To the honorable judges, allow me to answer the question that my colleague asked me. So, he asked me that where have I quoted that article? According to the Constitution, under the Bill of Rights, chapter 4, article 26, it says that we have right to live. Thank you.
Honorable judges, the member of parliament proposing side was very clear. Give the article that supports equality.
Thank you. When you are talking, you did not touch. So this means you are not sure in what you are saying. Second, I say, give the article of Constitution that supports inequality.
To our honorable judges and honorable members of this house, good morning. I want to direct my question to the current speaker. You said that this can exist if we are treated equal. My question is, imagine the president and all of us are subjected to the same salary, same privileges. Could there exist respect? And in the sense where there is no respect, this cannot exist anyway. Imagine in a school setup, the principal, deputy, and other teachers are treated equally, given the same salary, given the same privileges. Could there exist peace? Could there exist respect between the boss and the juniors?
Thank you for the question. So, if my memory serves me right, I said, me having 10 million and my colleague having 2 million does not make us equal. What we mean by saying equality? Equality means when we are given equal opportunities, not equal salary. My good friend. Thank you.
Salary is an opportunity, privileges are opportunities. I'm asking. Sorry for the interruption. I'm asking. We are exposed to the same, or subjected to the same privileges, opportunities, the same as in this country. Will there exist respect and peace?
Thank you for clarifying what I already answered. I said, the law says we are equal before the law. So please don't bring the issue of principal, head teacher, and the salaries. You are wasting your time. We need to everything.
Thank you. Thank you for the question session. Now we move into conclusion. Each side has 4 minutes to give their reply speech. 4 minutes to give your reply speech.
Unfair, human rights are protected, and their laws apply equally to the rich and poor. This is just to bring to the attention of the House that peace always and have always exist without inequality, but not equality. And that is the reason and why, as the opposing team in the House, we are strongly opposing, just to ensure and to let you know that based on history and evidence history, just as has been said here, peace is not determined by the equality, but peace is determined by several factors that have been mentioned here. Otherwise, to our esteemed judges, I want to thank you so much for the opportunity. Thank you.
Our honorable adjudicators, I stand here without fear to briefly explain to you why I think we are winning this round. Because the opposition side voted against SDG 16 and they said that it promotes justice. They forgot to read below what says that it promotes justice, peace, and equity. They did not mention everything. So I think at that point I am disqualifying it. Next, they say that they try to insinuate that peace can be promoted by several factors. If my memory serves me right, those several factors they're talking about, they mention justice, they mention things to do with the court of law. All those are spices that make up peace. In short, what they are doing, if I look at all their points, they are trying to break down peace into several branches. So they are explaining branches of peace and they are explaining peace. Through saying that there is justice and all that, those are just things that spice up equality. Equality is the key source to peace. That's what we believe. Therefore, we strongly propose this motion that there can never be peace without equality. And I think this motion and this session should remain a secret, because should anyone hear that we are opposing equality to peace, we might be held accountable in the court of law. Thank you and have a blessed day.
Thank you for that session. We now move to the judges' comments to sum up.
Thank you. I want to just give a general feedback, and perhaps we are going to pick our areas that we need to improve. And the first comment that I want to make, I can say we had no coordination. That is, we expected at least when we are leaving the stage, you usher in the next speaker. As you wind up your point, you usher in the next speaker so that you can have that continuity, coordination. So I think our mother was doing that. And we had the issue of fencing. We expect when you debate, you don't read so much from the notes. You may have the short notes. You may have a look, 2-3 seconds, and then let's have you argue instead of reading too much. And then another thing, utilizing the stage. Some are using the stage well, and some did stand without moving. So use the stage well and maintain meaningful eye contact and such kind of things. The other side about voice projection, I can say that was quite okay, because I think we have a public address system. Grooming, both of us okay, so no issue on that. And the choice of color, it speaks volumes. I want to mention that when you are voting, make sure you know exactly what you are voting. For example, you talked about high cousins, and that's what said the president. I don't know whether it's the president who has been saying high cousins or who, but I guess it's the former deputy president. So when we check on those points, the quotes, we also come into the constitution. You quote something you are sure, because we shall check, and if we find that the quote that you have not given is not as in the constitution, and then your quote is irrelevant. Then about engaging the audience, we are debating, and we have those who are speaking, and we have the audience. It's good to engage the audience. How does one engage the audience? I think there are only two speakers who did that. As you speak, you can pose a question to the audience, and I think you witnessed that. There are speakers who are asking questions, and then I had the response from the audience. So you must be able to look for a way to engage the audience within your 8 minutes, within your 6 minutes. Otherwise, you don't highlight the points without involving the audience. So it's one of the areas that we check. How is the audience responding? There is an area we are working for that. So you speak all through without engaging the audience, and then you will use some marks. I want us, we talked about the language that we use. I wrote some words here. Understand the English. Our colleagues are confused. I can count these words as negative. Remember, we are talking about a man is glad. And the language we are going to use, we may disagree, but the choice of words we use to disagree is very key, isn't it? I just want to imagine if somebody tells you you don't know what you are speaking about, what will the other speaker take those words for? Perhaps they will lower their self-esteem, isn't it? And then at the end of the day, we are not going to achieve our objective. And then the other thing, and now this is very important, we have the audience here, we have the defendants on the other side, and then we have the judges here, isn't it? Everybody is playing a role. The audience, you are listening. You can ask the questions. The judges, we are listening, we cannot ask questions. Is that not the case? The audience, you are seated here, you cannot judge. Can you judge? At the end of the day, we are going to give them results. So those who are debating, when you are arguing your point, you counter the point without necessarily criticizing the other side. You know, when we are here, we listen to the point. How are you supporting your motion? Like the last part of the reply, we expected you give kind of a concluding remark on the points that you have done what? you have given. So when you argue, support your motion, if for example, if you are proposing, say I am proposing because of 1, 2, 3. But if you say the other group did not understand, if you are rectifying what the other group has done, and then what you are simply doing, you are judging. So when we put our points across, let us aim at supporting our motion. If, for example, you are proposing, table the points. I'm opposing because of 1, 2, 3. I am proposing because of 1, 2, 3. You don't say I'm proposing because the other one do not understand their points. So you criticize the other points without now putting your point across. You take the role of the judge. We are here at the end. We shall be able to speak areas of strength and areas of improvement. So when you are debating, don't talk about the areas of improvement of the other group. But instead, if you are opposing, put your point. And then we are listening, we shall see this is a point. We shall be able to see how the other one has countered. And then from there, we can be able to judge who you are the same hivi and who you hivi. So this carries the day. Depending on how you do what, you argue. I don't know whether the issue of time was not bad. Most of you are eloquent, fluent, and then there is a term I was looking for. I think I mentioned about the language we use, spreading rumors and such kind of things. Another thing that I want us to check on is the slogan. Even as you debate, you can come up with a slogan. If you can remember this, the Senator of Kakamega County, if you can be able to rule on those who are active, you can remember there is a time you was arguing about Amos Kimunya. Can you be able to remember that? I don't know. Kimunya must go. That is a slogan. You can equally come up with a slogan about what? Peace. So that as you argue your points, you bring in your slogan. For peace to do this and this, there must be what? Inequality or equality. Such kind of a slogan. So that as you argue your first point, you conclude your first point with a slogan. Your second point, another slogan. So by doing so, you are arguing and we are here, we are judging, we are listening. And then we can be able to give you marks. So let us not aim at criticizing, because we may take a lot of time criticizing the opponent without bringing your point. Are you getting the point? Yes. So let's focus on the points as we counter the other colleague. So I think that is all I can be able to say. I usher in Madam to make our remarks if there is anything that has been left. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Judge. A lot has been said. I wish to comment on language use. Remember, we are honorable members of the House, right? And therefore, we don't allow abusive language. We don't command. If we can relate to the Parliament, at no time a member can order the Speaker, Honorable Rectangular, to do as he or she wishes. So let us avoid the use of the word want. I want to tell you this. I want to. When we use the verb want, we are commanding. I'm a teacher of languages and I'm key to the words, the choice of words you're using. We call it diction. No? So this house is a respected house, and therefore we are going to follow the rules of etiquette. Rules of etiquette. We are going to observe respect for each one of the members. And therefore, we are not allowed in the next round to use any word that will demean or rather demoralize the opponents. Are we together? Ensure that the choice of words you decide on are words that show respect, or rather good manners. We are going to use words that request. I would wish to differ with your point. I want to believe you have gone through the phrases we use when we are disagreeing politely. We must disagree politely, not rudely. You are right. However, what if we said this? It shows you acknowledge the plight of your opponent. However, you are differing with what they have said respectively. So let us not make members feel demeaned, or rather not fit to be where they are. And two, we are not here to quarrel. Honorable member was very bitter, and really wanted to explain. Honorable member of Magweni, Madam Asumbi, was very bitter. We have to control our emotions. However wrong or however bad the opponents engage us, we must control our emotions. Remember, the world is watching us. We are the lawmakers. So if we quarrel and fight, then there will be no law. And as I said earlier, we are no longer trainees, neither are we students. We are members of the World Amani Club. And therefore, we are here to engage, to come up with ways that we can have peace in Kenya and the world at large. So we are not here just to talk about Eregi or Asumbi. We're here on behalf of Kenya and the world. Are we together, honorable members? Yes, so therefore, moving to round 2, we expect that you will do the corrections and give us an engageful presentation. Let us put our emotions away. We are here to convince that this should be happening, that without equality there is no peace, or without equality there is peace. Either way, convince us that we should join your side. At the end of the day, we still remain honorable Amani members. We are not creating immunity kindly. So, okay, so let us observe the diction, that is the choice of words we are using, as usually we present. Avoid the few grammatical mistakes. Now you talk of, a member talked of, what did he say? He used a verb wrongly. Now when we use words wrongly, we entirely change the entire meaning. And that is why you saw the argument. Now the point was there, but then the choice of word was wrong. So the intended meaning did not come out. And that is now where the argument comes in. So the next speakers, as we come in for the second round, go through your points. Make sure that the words, the choice of words you've chosen are agreeing. Zinaeleweka, zinakubalika. Now we are talking about about equality and not equity. The two are different. Equity now equality are two different words. Get to know the meaning of the two. And as we come in session 2, we want to get to hear more of equality and not equity or equity. We are talking about equality, not equity. Take note of the two. We are mixing the two. And our motion talks about equality, not equity. Are we together? Okay. Thank you for that. Allow me to postpone the session. We break for a health break. Then strictly 15 minutes, kindly observe time. It is 11:17 plus 15 minutes.